and state it is being held in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. It was properly noticed and has been posted and certified by the clerk. For those meetings that will be held remotely, instructions and meeting access will be available on the town website, www.hapacon.org. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoverkamp.
Here.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Roberts.
Here.
Mr. Schindler. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Young.
Here.
Mayor Francis.
Here. Please join me for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United
the United States of America
America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
liberty,
indivisible,
justice for all.
liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no proclamations tonight. We'll start with committee reports, and Dawn, we'll start with you.
Okay, first of all, I would just like to say thank you to everyone that came to the Memorial Day ceremony in such bitter weather. Everyone that came out, the high school band was just so awesome. Everyone that came together, it was a beautiful day despite the rain. So I just want to thank everyone, the residents, everyone that put it together, and everyone that participated. Thank you very much for honoring, remembering our heroes. My next item is, since we were together last, we did successfully partner with the Hope and Serenity Recovery Center, and they started at our community center here today. There are recovery coaches here on site, licensed clinical social workers, people that are trained to work with people that are struggling with substance abuse and or the families that are watching someone go through it. So there's a lot of support going on. It's 3 hours every Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. here at the community center. So that's very successful. First time, the kickoff was great. I'm so pleased. It was a success. So we're looking forward to many days together. Our next item, I just want to remind everyone that the Journey Bus will be here next Tuesday, June 8th from 1 to 3. I did talk to the gentleman that runs the bus. He's trying to get some diapers together as well. We were also able, through our donations, to get more diapers here in the center. So if anyone has a need, feel free to reach out to us at the community center, or you can visit the Journey Bus next Tuesday in the parking lot, June 8th. Also on June 8th, we have the Wellness Yoga coming to meet again from 5 to 6 p.m. They had to move their time up a little bit earlier, but the class is still very successful and people are finding a lot of relaxation for that hour. On June 15th, please don't forget, we still have our caregiver support group. So anyone taking care of a loved one at home, and more people are opting to do that. This is a time for support for you, for the caregiver that is taking care of someone. There's a lot of resources. There's people here to talk to just vent, come from a place where you're having a hard time. If you're hitting a wall, the caregiver support group has been very successful in leading people down a path of getting resources and respite. Everyone needs a rest. That's it for now. Every Wednesday, don't forget, dedicated day from now on, every Wednesday, 5 to 8, the Hope and Serenity Recovery Center is now working with the Hapacon Community Center. So that's a lot to be thankful for. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Brad, you're up.
Mayor, I'd just like to add on to what Dawn previously said about our last Saturday here. I'd like to commend our residents who did brave the rain and the chill last Saturday to attend the Hapacon's Memorial Day service. We had a very large crowd, and that was very special to our 20 hometown heroes that received their proclamation from the mayor. I'd also like to thank Kathy Million, Anna Reardon, and Wendy Sutton for their efforts in organizing the overall event and helping during it. I'd also like to thank the Hapacon band, who did an outstanding job even in the rain. I also must thank Ron Tappan, Pat Mason, Steve Million, and the DPW for their assistance in getting the new banners installed on River Styx Road. I must also say a thank you to Chris and Sam Schindler for their assistance in revealing the new banners. I'd also like to thank Jim Fitzpatrick for his continuous efforts to showcase not only the Hometown Heroes program, but also for publicizing all the various good things that are done in this town by our many wonderful volunteers. In closing, if you were not there, you missed a very special event. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad. John, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. At the risk of being redundant, and I'm not going to repeat everything that Brad said, but I do want to comment that the Memorial Day memorial that we had on Saturday, I thought was the best one I've seen in a long, long time, despite the rain. I know there were a lot of people there because of the Hometown Heroes, but I thought it was the best crowd I've ever seen. And it was absolutely a horrible day. So kudos to all the people that spoke, worked it, organized it. That was a great event. From the Open Space Committee, we had a meeting last week. There is not a lot going on with open space. We kind of reviewed our budget. We did have one piece of correspondence. We have somebody that's donating a piece of property. We're looking into that. From the looks of it, it's going to be a small postage stamp sized property that's out in the natural area preserve, because the letter from the woman we got it from mentioned that her aunt or great aunt, I believe, had acquired it from a newspaper subscription, and that has all the markings. That has all the markings of property that was given away out in that area. So we're looking into that. We'll take care of that. We had some conversation about Witten Park, but we haven't heard anything yet. And we had a little conversation about the dog park. If you remember, the Open Space Committee agreed to fund the dog park for up to $15,000. From environmental, we talked about the marketplace. They're looking to have some displays at the marketplace on July 31st and August 1st. That's one of the weekends where they're doing Saturday, Sunday. Also September 4th and 5th. The displays will be mostly about invasive species. Also had, if you've been there lately, we have a new display in Borough Hall, on the hall in Borough Hall. Try not to be redundant with that. We also talked about Hapacon Days, September 18th, the Lake Hapacon Foundation block party on October 2nd. We're looking forward to the new website and getting some pictures up there, probably of invasive species. We've very soon, if not already, since the meeting, going to be doing a little bit of planting in the rain garden, and we had some conversation about what to plant. Brad brought everyone there up to speed on the dog park. We have an Eagle Scout that's turning the small dog park into his project, and some of the apparatus that will be in there. The beautification committee part of the environmental commission has been out. They've done plantings in Maxim Glen, Vets Park, Borough Hall. We had a little bit of conversation about sustainable Jersey, and the one event that we have coming up is this Saturday, June 5th, at the Mountain Inlet, also known as the Roland and May Eves Sanctuary. We have a bird walk, and there is supposed to be an ornithologist there. It's been arranged. Hopefully they can still make it. So it should be an interesting walk. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Ryan, you up?
Hey, I want to echo everybody's comments about Memorial Day ceremony. It's really humbling to know how wonderful our town is. Everybody seems to come out for it, in spite of the weather. It's really a nice ceremony, and it's heart-wrenching to witness some and hear some things occur that day. But, I'm grateful that we were able to, and kudos to Brad for honoring our hometown heroes, all 20 of them that were added this time. And again, we mentioned the ceremony. That's Brad's project. He really took that and hit the ground running on it. And between last year and this year, we've had quite a few people that have been honored. And our town really contributes a lot. And I'm very grateful to be on this council and be a part of this town and be a citizen here. With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to a whole bunch of things that I've got on my list here. I'll start with the Hapacon High School Drama Club is presenting Grease over the next 3 nights. Tomorrow night and Friday night, it's at 7 p.m. at the Hapacon High School Auditorium. On Saturday, there's a 2 p.m. matinee and a 7 o'clock show, so there are 2 shows on Saturday. From the Chamber of Commerce, our next Chamber of Commerce meeting is Friday, June 11th. The next B2B breakfast is on June 8th. And the expo up at Crystal Springs is going to be held on June 23rd. Up at the Sussex County MUA, the Sharps disposal event is on the 3rd, which is tomorrow. The Household Hazardous Waste event, which is this Saturday. The next paper shredding event is June 18th. And they have lots of mulch up there. They have regular mulch and they have black and red colorized mulch. So if anybody needs any of those supplies, they've got them up at the MUA. And last, but certainly not least, this weekend is our opening weekend for the Hapacon Marketplace. This has been a wonderful planning phase from when we closed at the holiday marketplace in December. And Jim Puccio has really done a great job of organizing. But it's this Saturday. Everybody needs to come out for this. So we're looking forward to it. There's a lot of vendors, a lot of neat things that are going to be, and the theme is a 50 state. So feel free to come out and visit. And that's all I got, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Jan, you're up.
Hi, I don't have anything new to report for the committees, but I wanted to point out that PAC 88 crossed over on 521 to higher ranks. And thank James Fitzpatrick for coming out and taping it, putting it up on YouTube. It was awesome. And the Hapacon Police Department was also there in attendance, and that was really great too. I'm sorry to have missed the Memorial Day ceremony. My family decided to go away on our annual trip for Memorial Day, but I'm sure it was beautiful and reverent as it always is. And I just wanted to mention that June 8th is the primaries, so go out and vote. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ron, administrative report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to make it real brief because I see some very exciting faces on tonight for the auction. So I want to get to that as quick as we can. So the Witten Park, the Councilman Young's, we sent in a couple of things into the Highlands today, getting ready for the grant for that. We sent in the resolution and the letter of support, and we also sent the initial proposal in to the Highlands today to start the process for the grant opportunity for that park. So that's for the rain garden portion of that. So that's some behind the scenes things that are going on in Witten Park. We did get past week, we received the bids for all the paving. The engineer, county engineer, and myself are reviewing all the mandatory documents, and we'll be presenting to the borough the acceptance of that award, hopefully by the next meeting, to start the paving for the borough. And I'm happy to say that we did get very favorable bids that were lower than the co-op prices than what we were done. So it's a good savings for the borough to do the paving under what we would normally get under the state co-op prices. So that was a good way of getting there. We also, last night on the Land Use Board, approved a letter of support for an urban grant for recreational equipment for the borough. We are applying for a grant that would give us money that would replace the skate park, the hockey rink, pavement, and the bocce courts at the senior center. So we've applied for grants that would support us replacing those as well. So that's all I got to report, and I'd like to have John Urson get ready, and let's start the auction.
Okay, Mayor and Council. Mayor and Council, we have 5 auctions tonight. I will, for the sake of efficiency, I am going to just give some instructions that will apply to all 5 auctions. These auctions have been authorized by Ordinance 12-2021. Each of these sales is strictly subject to the terms of the ordinance. Because we are not meeting in person tonight, the winning bidders for each of these auctions will be responsible to deliver the 10% deposit plus the $450 to the clerk in the municipal building no later than the close of business on Friday. If the deposit is not delivered by the close of business on Friday, the auction will automatically be void, and the real estate committee and the council will decide whether to re-auction the property. The first property that's on the auction tonight is block 40106, lot 36, 32 Tufts Trail. This auction, like all the auctions tonight, are only available to be bid on by adjoining property owners with the requirement that the property be merged into their own property. Is there anyone here tonight to bid on 32 Tufts Trail in the amount of the minimum bid, $3,225?
I'm looking for Matt now. He's the one that was doing it. I don't see him on as yet. Mr. Urson, why don't we move to the next one? Because I don't see him on as of yet. He did
Well,
verify yesterday that he would be on.
Yep, we have no bidders for that property. I'll move on to the next auction, and we will come
Yeah.
back and either conclude the auction or receive bids on that one before the end.
Correct.
So
Thank you.
The first, the second auction is block 40105, lot 6. That is 12 Keith Road. The minimum bid is $3,600. If anyone is here tonight to bid on that, you can raise your hand through the action buttons.
And she's got it. Good enough.
And Ms. Cardin, is your bid, are you Teresa Cardin?
Yes.
Okay, just sometimes the name on the Zoom isn't always people's names. And your bid for this property is $3,600.
Right.
Is anyone here prepared to bid a higher bid for 32 Keith Road than $3,600? Ron, I don't see any other responses. So we'll say that's going once, going twice. Mayor, I recommend that the council pass a motion accepting the bid of $3,600 for 12 Keith Road.
I'll make that.
Do we have a second?
Yes. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
And Ms. Cardin, you heard my instructions on getting the deposit to the clerk before the end of the week. Thank you. The next bid, the next auction is block 11110, lot 22, 24 Staten Trail. The minimum bid is $3,700.99. Is anyone here tonight prepared to bid the minimum bid for Staten Trail?
We have it.
Oh, no.
Sir, I see your name on the Zoom is Fernando. What's your last name, sir?
ROSA.
Okay, thank you. And your bid is $3,700.99. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Is anyone here tonight prepared to bid a higher amount than the minimum bid for 24 Staten Trail? Ron, I don't see any responses. Do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, so going once, going twice. Mayor, I make a recommendation that the bid be accepted for $3,700.99 for 24 Staten Trail.
Thank you.
So
I'll entertain
moved.
the motion. Second.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
And John, what I'd like to thank the Roses for being so patient. They were a pre-COVID entry for this and have been waiting so long. Thank you so much for your patience.
And Mr. Rosa, you heard my instructions on the deposit, right?
I did. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. The next auction is 11005, lot 29. That's 214 Knox Way. The minimum bid is $3,500. Is anyone here tonight prepared to bid the minimum bid for 214 Knox Way?
Let's see here. I think they're trying to, but I don't see them coming on yet. Let's see here. Laurel, are you on? Try to unmute. You need to unmute. There you go. Okay, we got it.
I'm not there yet, Ron. Where's the bidder?
Right here. Laurel Gregor.
Okay, I don't see the bidder. If the bidder could
It's
indicate.
A Lounge is what the name is
Oh.
on the screen.
Okay,
Okay. There we
very
go.
good.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Ma'am, you're here tonight to bid the minimum bid of $3,500 for 214 Knox Way. Can you hear me, ma'am?
You may need to turn your speaker up.
Hey, Ron,
Yeah.
that's Karen Alonge. Is you
Okay. So that's not
you
the right
mentioned
one.
another name, so
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Lorraine, are you there?
she's got her microphone muted.
Yeah, I see her. She's here. Lorraine,
Yes,
are you
hi.
there? There you go.
Yes,
Okay, we got the right person.
Hi.
And ma'am, we can't see you, so what's your name?
Lorraine Cruz?
Lorraine Cruz?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And ma'am, are you here tonight to bid the minimum bid of $3,500 for 214 Knox Way?
No, I'm the one in West End Avenue.
Oh, wrong property. Oh boy.
Okay. We're still searching for a bidder, Ron.
Yep. Wow. All right, let's do this. Let's go again and go to the next one, and we'll circle back if we can, John.
Okay. We will go to the last bid of the last auction of the night, and we will see if we have bidders for the other two properties in a moment. The last one
Right.
is block 11101. This is lots 9 and 10. This is 210 Brown Trail, and the minimum bid is $7,250. Is anyone here
Right.
tonight to bid on that property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your last name is Archambault?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're bidding $7,250 for 210 Brown Trail.
Correct.
Okay. Is anyone here tonight bidding on 210 Brown Trail any amount higher than the minimum bid? Okay, Ron, I don't see any. Do you?
No, sir, I don't.
So we'll call that auction going once, going twice, and Mayor, I recommend that the council pass a motion accepting the bid of $7,250 for 210 Brown Trail.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
So normally, when we go through auctions, if there's no bidders, we don't generally come back, but because we're virtual due to the pandemic, and we're certainly still in the same time frame, we're just going to come back and revisit the two auctions where there were no bidders. So 40106 lot 36, that's 32 Tufts Trail, minimum bid $3,225. Is anyone here to bid on that property?
Yes, I am. Matt Ruskowitz.
Okay. And your bid is $3,225, sir?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is anyone here prepared to bid a higher amount than the minimum bid, $3,225? Just pausing for a moment, making sure we don't have any other bidders. Going once, going twice. Mayor, I recommend that the council accept the bid of $3,225 for 32 Tufts Trail.
I'll move that too.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
And Mr. Ruskowitz, did you hear my instructions before that the deposit needs to be delivered to the municipal building, the 10% plus the $450 by the close of business on Friday?
Yes, I know the process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Last one of the night, we go back to the fourth auction we did, block 11005, lot 29, that is 214 Knox Way. We'll just call this one last time. Is anyone here tonight to bid the minimum bid of $3,500 for 214 Knox Way?
I don't see anybody, John.
Mayor, the council should do a motion concluding the auctions with no bid for 214 Knox Way. And that will conclude the auctions for the night.
Hey, John, can I ask a process question? Can we table this auction till the next meeting so we don't have to start the process up if something emergent happened to this person, so we don't have to go through the next ordinance and the next ordinance and the reading?
Yes.
Is there a way to continue it maybe to the next meeting?
So, typically we don't do that, Ron, because both the first reading and the second reading identified and alerted the public to the date that we were going to do the auction.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
I don't want to break process, so I'm just going to see if there was an easier method to get it back on deck sooner, that's all. Because this person was very interested in the meeting. I don't know why they're not here.
Yeah, what I was looking at is if we had another auction for municipal property, we could have added that to the introduction on first reading.
Right.
I would suggest that we not do that.
Okay, that's fine.
We do these ordinances pretty regularly. If the person's interested, we'll add it back in.
Perfect, not a problem. Thank you, John. And thank you to all the people that participated tonight. I really do appreciate it.
I'll make a motion to close that one.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
That concludes the auctions. Now I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to public comment, where an opportunity is given to the public for commentary. Comments are limited to one comment of no more than 5 minutes.
You need a motion to go open?
Yes.
Okay, you got it.
Second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
All right, Ron, do it.
Anyone from the public that would like to talk or make a comment, please go to your reactions button, which is on your lower right-hand screen, and we'll identify you and bring you into the meeting. I've got one, Mayor. Philip, you're on.
Hi, yeah, my name's Philip Echeverria. I'm actually on here on account of a school civics project to join a board meeting. I just wanted to say I was really surprised at how organized these meetings are and how transparent they are. I really liked how you guys go about dealing with motions such as like fixing up the skate park, the Memorial Day ceremony, and the community drives. I was just very shocked to see this. I see signs on the side of the road all the time about elections for town committees and such. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I really like how you guys run things around here. I'm very proud to be a Hapacon citizen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. David, you had your hand up?
I did. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, David Harris.
Okay. I was just wondering, those lights on River Styx Road, they seem awful bright. And I was just wondering, is it possible to turn them down at all? Because it really doesn't, they almost are like daylight. And it would seem that people that live in that area, it would probably bother them because they're so bright, and is the cost of the electricity also. One other comment I had, a lot of towns now, Maplewood included, are having ordinances which restrict the amount of periods when people can use leaf blowers and other noisy equipment for their lawns. And I was wondering if the Borough of Hapacon was considering something like this, perhaps even not to have them on Sundays, so people can enjoy their backyards and their porches without hearing noise continuously. And the last thing is the pond circulator. How's that coming along? Thank you.
Thank you. Maura?
Mara Modes, you're up.
Hi. I was wondering, for the Hudson Maxim parking lot, will we be doing comments there? Will that be open for comments? Or should the comments?
If you have comments, I'd recommend that you make them now.
Okay. For the Hudson Maxim parking lot, first of all, I'd like to know why it's under old business when I don't remember it being discussed before. And I wonder if it's going to address the ties to the building across the street that it was required to provide parking for. So that's about it. Thank you.
Maura?
Mayor, I don't see any more.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to bring it back.
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're back. Well, thank you, Philip, for your comments. We try our best to run orderly and informative meetings, and also being transparent. We try very hard at that. The lights in River Styx, actually, David, I've had residents that live there tell me how much they enjoy it because they can walk their dog without a flashlight. Those are LED lights, by the way, very energy efficient. We've not addressed leaf blowers at all. We will if the issue becomes an issue with our residents and they bring that to our attention. But sometimes the only time people have to work in their yards are Saturdays and Sundays, so we have to be cognizant of that. But there's always room for discussion and dialogue on any issue. The pond circulator, I wish we could keep it running, but that is not a lake, it's a retention pond. And the problem is that there's not enough water usually, or the water is so muddy that it keeps burning out the circulator. But we'll keep trying to work on that too. The Hudson Maxim parking lot, we're aware of all the issues. It's a critical element to our area needed redevelopment. And so we'll manage that very carefully. It's under old business because it was previously discussed. So that's why it's there. So hopefully that helped answer some of the questions. Now we'll go to approval of minutes, the minutes of the regular meeting on May 19th, 2021.
I'll move them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need a roll call on that, Val?
No, we don't. That's fine.
Okay. Just trying to be efficient here, you know?
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but Mr. DiBenedetto wanted to speak about Hudson Maxim, and I don't think he was able to get recognized. I'm not sure if it was a technical issue.
Ron?
I see Art's on, but I didn't see any hand raised or anything that would acknowledge he wanted to come on. But if you guys want to,
we don't use Zoom very often, so maybe that was the issue. So
He's
can he
on mute.
speak?
Can we reopen public comment?
Well, first Art has to acknowledge that he wants to speak. So
I'm
Nicole, if you
acknowledging
want
it
to
for
speak, feel-
him.
You can speak for him if you want, but Art did not acknowledge that he wants to speak. So I can't help you with that.
What I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Francis, is that he's not familiar with Zoom. We don't use Zoom. We use Google Meet. So he just messaged me and is having a hard time getting acknowledged. So I would like to acknowledge that he likes to speak. Can he unmute
Art.
and speak?
Go ahead, Ron, explain how you do this.
Art, I see you in the screen. You're muted. So
I'm unmuted.
all right, Art's unmuted now. So you make a request to the borough that you want to come up.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I have been dealing with the Hudson Maxim sale for a significant period of time. I am totally understanding of the fact that the recent buyer has an attorney who has caused some ire to be raised because of the demands. However, those demands have been depleted to the point where the last interaction I had with him, he stated via email that he is essentially looking to have the same rights and benefits that are set forth in the easement for the Hudson Maxim School. This is a much more simplified version of what he was asking. It essentially extends the use of the parking lot for school employees. Ladies and gentlemen, there are less than 40 students in the school. The staff is somewhat limited in number. They're simply asking that Hudson Maxim name be removed and that proper language be used for a successor to the grantor, which is the Hapacon Board of Education. They're looking to close almost immediately. This building will go on the tax rolls if that closing takes place. I am very hopeful that the fact that this is on the agenda tonight may provide some light at the end of the tunnel. I am at your service to answer any questions that you might have with regard to the sale. I realize that's unusual and I don't expect that you would, but that's why I'm here tonight. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Art. So that's the end of the public comments and.
Okay, Mayor. That's all I see.
Yeah, I just got to say how much I love technology, you know.
Yeah.
But, we have to deal with what we have. And this is an example of how we make exceptions and how we are transparent. Technically.
Thank you.
Technically, when the comment's over, it's over. But we understand technology. We understand that it's not perfect, nor are we. But anyhow, so I just want to make that point that we do adjust to whatever we have to adjust to. And so the council will talk about that. That's why it's on old business for council discussion. And any decision made are, of course, at the pleasure of the council. So that's what we will do when we get to it. Now we're at resolution 2021-83, approval of the bills list.
Thank you, Mayor. Does anyone need anything removed or discussed? Not hearing or seeing any, Mayor, I'll move the bill list in its entirety.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Young.
Yes.
Approval of the consent agenda.
So
Did we
moved.
approve minutes? Did I miss that?
We did the minutes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Ordinances, introduction. Ordinance 16, 2021, dog park rules. An ordinance of the Borough of Hapacon, County of Sussex, supplementing Chapter 163 of the Code of the Borough of Hapacon concerning the Jefferson Field Dog Park. When's the final hearing on that?
It'll be the 16th,
June 15th,
16th.
16th? Okay, final hearing is on June 16th.
I'll move it, but I have a correction once it's seconded.
Second.
Go ahead.
On page 2, under A, B, and C, under enforcement, in all 3, A, B, and C, it lists a recreation director. That really needs to be changed to recreation coordinator because we don't have a recreation director.
So noted. We can fix that, John?
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Which one?
Both of you. One for the comment and the other one because we have to make sure that it's written in English. I hope. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
The final hearings, ordinance 14, 2021, authorization for auction of borough-owned property. An ordinance of the Borough of Hapacon, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the sale of certain property owned by the borough and not required for public purposes and more commonly known as 130 West End Avenue, Block 11009, Lot 19.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
We need to open to the public first.
Open to the public. All right, I'm sorry. Open to the public. Hearing none?
Move to bring it back.
Second.
All in favor?
Don't see any, Mike.
Final hearing on that will be June 16th.
This is the final hearing.
Yeah, I mean the auction.
Yes. Would you like me to
Ordinance-
call the roll, Mayor?
Yes.
Got a comment.
Oh, we got a comment.
Got a
Hold
hand
on.
raised.
Yeah, we got a hand raised real quick, Mike. Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Lorraine, you there?
Yes, hi. I'm actually, I think that's the lot that's right next to me, and that's the one that I'm interested in purchasing.
Okay,
Yeah, the auction is June 16th.
right.
June 16th? Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you attend.
okay, I will. Thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Call the roll on that.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Ordinance 15, 2021, salary ordinance, an ordinance establishing a minimum and maximum range of salary and compensation for certain titles of officers and employees of the Borough of Hapacon.
Move it.
Second.
I'll open it to the public for any comments or questions. Hearing none,
Move to bring it
Don't
back.
see any, Michael.
all in favor?
We need a roll vote. This one, we do need a roll call vote.
Oh, okay, roll call.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolutions. Resolution 2021-84, authorization for a tax overpayment refund and 100% disabled veteran exemption.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Resolution 2021-85, authorizing a grant application to New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the renovation of the skate park.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
This would be for the skate park and the other one that Ron was talking about, right?
No, this actually, Councilwoman Johnson, this is another one. We're applying for two.
Oh,
So the first
fantastic.
one, so that's an urban one I was talking about before, but this is another
Awesome.
one just in case.
Great, then yes.
okay, Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Mayor, if you care to, you could make a action on C through I altogether, because they're all resolutions to amend the budget for the same reason. They just are different categories. It's up to you, Mayor, but if you choose to, you could move them all together.
Well, are we okay with that? Does anybody have a problem with that?
I'll move C through I.
Second.
All right, so that's resolution 2021-86, 2021-87, 2021-88, 2021-89, 2021-90, 2021-91, and 2021-92. They're all amendments to the budget.
This is adding money to the budget from grants we received.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Awesome.
It's a good day when we can do that. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Thank you. Old business will be a discussion by council regarding the parking lot easement with the Board of Education. And John, I would like you to explain what we're talking about here and why it's here.
Sure, Mayor. As the council knows, we discussed the fact that the Board of Education is under contract to sell Hudson Maxim School, and the issue of our easement with respect to the parking lot was raised. Previously, this was discussed and no action was taken. Tonight, I'm bringing back a very minor amendment to you with a recommendation. I can say that I was a little surprised by the comments. The buyer's attorney, the buyer of this property, their attorney's been very reasonable, very easy to work with. There have been misrepresentations and very unreasonable demands, but in my dealings, they didn't come from the buyer's attorney. Even the position stated tonight is not the position of the buyer's attorney. I can tell the council that the buyer's attorney is in agreement with the proposal in front of you and not the language that was recited before. So what's in front of you is a very simple amendment to the easement. It makes it clear that if a school is a successor use and the school goes ahead and gets all of the approvals necessary to comply with our ordinances, the regulations, and various statutes, then they would enjoy the same rights as the present school does. And I think this language creates some continuity that the buyer was requesting. But importantly, what this does is it allows us to indicate in here that there will certainly be approvals required for the buyer and for the proposed use. So this is a very minor amendment. It's assisting in the transaction, in assuring the buyer that if they make the required applications and they receive the required approvals, then we would honor the easement the same way we are with the current school. And so I think that is that recognition and memorialization is a benefit to the town And that's why I came back to recommend this very limited amendment to the easement. I'm happy to answer any of the council's questions at this point.
What does this change about the easement then? The First Amendment to the easement, what does it change about it?
Yeah, I think that it's really distilled in the paragraph that's labeled numerical number 1. So in the current easement, it gives the property rights to the Hudson Maxim School. And in this amendment, it acknowledges that the rights would be continued if a school was the successor and if the school complied with all of the required ordinances, regulations, and statutes, and received all required approvals.
So if it's not a school, then what happens?
Presumably, there would be some negotiation, I would imagine, because right now the restriction for the property that is the Hudson Maxim School would be that they could use the parking spaces during school hours.
Right, okay, which is what, right, the other easement says.
Correct. And if another business moved in there and they wanted to use it at different times, they could approach the council, and there could be a negotiation about whether there would be any changes to that. I can't say in advance whether the council would ever entertain that, but we would be prejudging a hypothetical at that point. This is, the buyer has indicated that it will be a school use. The buyer is aware that a school is not a permitted use in that zone and that they will have to obtain required land use approvals. So this recommended easement, what I'm recommending to you tonight, the amendment to the easement, memorializes that, and I think serves both parties.
So I want to understand now what you just said, because so there's a school there now that has an easement for the parking lot with the town.
No.
If it stays a school, then the easement stays in place between that school and the town. So if it isn't a school, then they have to work with us to modify the easement. But
if it's not,
even though there's a school there, it is not zoned for school anymore. And therefore they would have to go through all of the zoning and all of the ordinance, everything to make it a school again.
So I think you're starting to ask me kind of a land use kind of question, but in the land use context, there's issues of permitted uses. We'll leave that aside for a moment. But even within a permitted use, anytime that there's a substantial change in tenants, that those applicants come before the land use board because their hours may be different, their parking may be different, their circulation patterns may be different, all of those types of things. So generally in the municipal land use law, a change in use or a change in tenancy triggers a site plan review.
Let me see if I can help, John. In this case, the school sits in an R1 zone, which is residential. It's always has been there. It predated zoning, if you will. But now that it has been abandoned for more than a year, the property reverts back to residential, period. So it's no longer a school. It could say whatever it wants outside, but by land use rules, it's now residential piece of property.
Yeah, Mayor, I don't know that I agree with that completely, but I don't want to debate that here at the council.
Okay.
That's when someone buys the property, they can analyze the land use requirements and they can decide what approvals they need and make the applications they want to make.
But after 1 year of abandonment, that use goes away, John.
I know there's a presumption, but again,
no, that's right out of Cox. I'm sorry.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that's not what we have to debate tonight. The only thing we're debating tonight, and I think Councilwoman Johnson was on the narrow issue, which is that if the new use is a school and it has all of its approvals, then we will honor the same school hours division of those parking spaces. That's it. That's the only thing before you, and that's the only thing in this amendment, and it's all on the paragraph that's labeled Roman numerical 1.
And what's the difference between what you were saying and what Mr. D was saying?
He was referring to an email from either 10 days or 2 weeks ago where the buyer's attorney was asking for some different language, some more expansive language.
And the attorney for the buyers are in agreement with this amendment?
Correct.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Mayor, I have a few questions. And I know we're trying to keep this narrow to the amendment. However, there was a statement made that this property would be generating tax once there's a sale. I would like to ask John or anybody to clarify that, how that would happen, taxing a school. It's my understanding of the new buyer. Unfortunately, we really haven't seen the closing yet, so we're kind of doing this anticipating certain things. So someone can clarify that part.
Yeah, Mr. Hopatcong, respectfully, let me just explain the larger issue, right? So a piece of property that transfers into private ownership would be taxed. Each year, there's a window of time where a property owner can make application to the municipality to be taxed under the nonprofit statute. The nonprofit statute is fairly specific, and it allows for nonprofit, non-taxable treatment of certain uses, including a school. So we really, despite the representations that this would be taxable, we don't know the answer. In the short term, upon transfer, it's likely that there would be a taxable period, and whether the new entity applies for tax exemption at the right time, which is in the fall, we don't know.
Thank you. Mayor, can I ask, do we know if the prospective buyer, contracted buyer, has gone before the land use board to show us anything that they want to do?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
I have one more question. If we pass this amendment to the easement, this will make the sale easier for the school. Is that what Mr. D is saying?
I think that this change does address one of the concerns of the buyer, which I presume makes the sale easier. Yes.
Do we think, or do we know?
See, I can't tell you. I've seen from emails that it appears the closing is scheduled. I know from pretty extensive conversations that the buyer's attorney is in agreement with this language. So it's a presumption, but yes, I believe that this helps the sale.
Okay.
More discussion, questions, concerns?
Would it be easier to digest if the prospective buyer went in front of the land use board first?
So that's a little bit of a chicken and the egg situation. So the buyer theoretically, buys the property first, then comes to the land use board. And no matter what they do or say when they come to the land use board, the reason that I'm recommending this to you tonight is that it's very narrow, that it benefits the town because we would only honor the parking in the easement in school hours, which benefits our downtown district because the businesses can use it, presumably after school hours, which was the synergistic relationship that we were trying to establish. And we're putting in here a fairly plain broadcast that you only get the benefit of the easement if you're compliant with all ordinances and laws and you got all your approvals. I find this small change to be a benefit to the borough in memorializing that, but it is 100% the prerogative of council members to vote yes or no on this.
So this is for a vote. We have to vote on this. This isn't, I was.
We need a
It's only,
motion.
Councilwoman Johnson, it's only for a vote if somebody moves it. If no
I'll
one,
move it.
I second the motion. I think we should approve this amendment. The buyers want this. We agree with it. It's basically a pass-through. I've read this easement 3 times. I've also read what they suggested when we were in executive session previously. This easement, the way it's written now, because the previous one was written explicitly to refer to Hudson Maxim School. What we're doing is we're taking that bundle of rights that was in the previous easement and applying it specifically to all grantors and grantees moving forward in the chain of title. That was the only thing that really needed to be cleared up in there. What John put in there is to make sure that all future buyers understand that they need to come for site plan approval, which, whether it's in the easement or not, is irrelevant because it's in the land use law. That when you make a substantive change to the site plan of a property, where there one business, say they have a business that's a dry cleaner, and they sell it to another dry cleaner, they still have to come before the land use board to show that they've changed something about the business, whether it's ownership or service or number of employees. I represented the King's supermarket in Mendham. They made a change of 7 inches to their front door when they renovated the front of that building. They still had to go for site plan. Anybody who changes a commercial property or a residential property that is using a permitted use or conditional use of school, when they change ownership or change anything they're doing, has to go before the land use board. That's what they have to do. That's what John put in here. So what I see on this amendment is what needs to be there so that the future owner ensures that they still have the same rights that the previous owner did. And that's what this does. So
As long
I'm
as they're a
seconding.
school.
As long as they're a school, they meet the requirements of the previous easement. That's what the previous easement was for. It was for school hours parking. So let's be clear about that. That's what was transferred before between the Board of Ed and town, and the new owners will get those exact same rights, provided they go through the same procedure that any school would have to go through to be in that location.
We have a motion and a second. More discussion, or are we ready for a roll call? Call the roll, Val.
Haverkamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
All right, John, based on the pleasure of the council, will you make sure all the proper paperwork is prepared and the necessary signatures are applied?
yes, Mayor.
Thank you. Under new business, I'd like to appoint Steve Savecchio as alternate 3 to the Land Use Board.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Haverkamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, on the new business, we're now going to have a public hearing for the NJDEP Green Acres Land Acquisition and Park Development Program grant application for the renovation of the Pachi Courts at the Senior Center. Does this also include the skate parks, Ron?
Yeah, this is the public hearing that's required for the first grant. Like I said, we're going for 2 different grants, but this particular one requires the public hearing. So this is for the skate park, the bocce center, and the hockey rink.
The street hockey.
Street hockey, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so it's for all 3.
Yeah.
So this is the public hearing for that. And since it's a public hearing, I'll open it up to the public for questions or comments.
Mayor, can we have a motion and a second to this? I have a feeling I'm going to need to send this to someone, so I just want to make sure we have everything in order.
I'll move it.
Second.
Call the roll?
Mr. Hoppercamp,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
I'm sorry, this was for the public hearing for the Green Acres land acquisition?
yes.
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 To open it
Yes.
to the public.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Ms. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Young.
Yes.
Okay. Now we can have the public hearing, right, Val?
Yes.
All right. So, welcome public. Any questions or comments? Have at it. Ron, you got anybody?
Looks like Mr. Harris has a comment.
Okay.
Mr. Harris, you're up.
You got to
Go ahead,
unmute, Dave.
Dave, you got to unmute.
Could you give us a little bit more background or tell us what's involved with these three projects?
Yes, we're going to fix the stuff that some not too smart people destroyed at the skate park. We intend to put all the features back so the majority of kids that will enjoy it can enjoy it. We want to resurface the field hockey surface, which we're trying to fix every year and we're chasing the crack. We want to completely redo that. And then we want to redo the bocce courts at the senior center.
And this is applying for the grant to do that. So the application process for the grant that would hopefully give us the money for this, it requires the public hearing.
Could I say, this is terrific. I greatly appreciate this. I've been told that the skate park, the sidewalk or whatever it is cracked. Will that also be fixed?
This is a total project. The skate park is going to need a new foundation to put the new material on top. That's in the proposal. Any of the surrounding areas that goes with that is in that proposal as well. It's to fix it in total.
Good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mara, are you up?
Kind of security for the skate park area, etc., so it doesn't get damaged that much in the future?
Mary, you want me to answer that?
I didn't hear her because her volume was down.
She's asking, was any more security measures being put in based on this grant?
Yes, but we're not going to tell you where they are.
Well, I'm just
Right,
trying
Dave?
to prevent future damage.
Yes, we're aware of that. You know, I'm not real happy that 2 kids destroyed it for 100. So yes, we're going to put measures in place.
How much is the grant for?
We can apply up to, Councilman Johnson, we can apply up to $400,000.
Dang. And that's with the other 135,000 that we are also applying for.
There's 2 separate grants. I'm asking for everything. I learned the hard way from one of the bosses I have. When we talked to our grant writers, I asked for 2 of everything. So there you go.
Well, I mean, that would be in addition to the 135 we're applying for.
We would be in addition to, but if we don't get one, we got plan B.
We got
That's
the other,
really-
right?
I'm
That
just-
makes
I
makes
put
sense.
contingent plans in. That's what we do when we write grants. We don't count on one, we don't count on 2, we hope for both.
And do we have bids on this job to know how much it's going to cost?
Only for the skate park. I do have to get engineering quotes for the hockey rink and the bocce court that's due with this grant application next week. But we've done and looked historically at what it would cost to replace the skate park. It's extremely expensive. So we're happy to know that we're going after these grants to offset those costs.
Do you have those numbers, how much the skate park would be?
The skate park alone in equipment, not just the repair of the foundations, the sidewalks or anything, the first quote we got off the state contract was $152,000. And that was to replace all comparable equipment with the new technology of non-destructible material.
And nothing on the street, no, you were saying engineering and the bocce court too.
Right, we got to get engineering quotes on that to supply. We don't have those as of yet, but that needs to come. We had to have this public hearing first before I can put those in.
Got it. I understand. Okay.
This is kind of a wish we had this money type of a public hearing.
Yes. Yeah, yes. If we get
And
it,
let
this
me
is what
tell
we're
you,
gonna.
we get these grants, we're gonna have one hell of a skate park.
But say we don't get everything we want. Are we still going to, I'm not asking you where anything is. We still going to beef up our security?
Yes. To your question, Councilman Roberts, in the budget this year, we have a large number of security measures that we're putting out, all the way from the skate park, all the way to motor park. So
Okay.
there is a huge security increase that's going to happen regardless if we get this grant or not.
Okay, I just didn't want one to hinge on the other.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, but we're gonna be pretty aggressive with this. I think that our kids deserve this kind of effort. They do.
Agreed.
Mike,
Not
I
more?
don't see anybody else in the public that has any other comment. I'll be happy to answer any more questions about it, but I don't see anybody.
Okay. Motion to close it to the public.
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, do we need a motion? Any other motions, Valerie?
No, this was just for the public hearing, so we open to the public, we close to the public, we're fine.
Okay, and we have a record of all the dialogue, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm really hoping we get something for it, which would be a good segue into my comments. And we're serious about the skate park. I think our kids were done a disservice, and so the equipment we're hopefully proposing is very durable. You know, we're looking at steel, we're looking at concrete. There's positives and negatives for each one. If we are successful, we'll certainly get into the detail with engineering and vendors and do the best and the most durable and cost effective that we can do. But we're not going to go cheap. I can tell you that. We want something that's going to be safe for the kids. The skate park stuff, some of them things are risky, and we don't want to compromise anybody's safety, and we won't. COVID, I have to tell you that in the month of May, Borough of Hopatcong had 31 cases. I can't tell you how impressed I am. April was 134. For March, April was 297. February was 163. January was 361. So you can see the curve is definitely turning the right way for us. I'm so appreciative that our people are getting vaccinated. They're paying attention. I'm still trying to get the final say from our friends in Trenton on having live meetings for council at least. Although they don't limit the number, they're still limiting the space, and go figure. It sounds like Trenton to me. But they say that this week they should clarify that a little bit. And so if we can have public meeting without turning anybody away, we'll go back to our live meetings. We're not going to do anything other than that. If we can't have meetings that the public, all public can come to, we'll stay on Zoom. I kind of like Zoom, but I kind of like live meetings too. So as soon as the regulations and the executive orders permit us, we'll be back to meetings, live meetings in public. Memorial Day was very touching to me. In that lousy weather, pouring down rain, we had over 200 people. And I have to tell you that when I looked out and saw the people, some of them just standing in the rain, some under the tent, some with umbrellas. The high school band was there. They had the twirlers there with their flags. They were in the rain, they weren't under the tent. But the point is that our people showed the true spirit and dedication of Hapacon to honor those that didn't make it home. So it was very touching to me. It was one of the best I've ever seen. We had some pretty good speakers, and our Gold Star mother was very moving, and I appreciate that. It just showed the sincerity and dedication that the Borough of Hopatcong, the people in Borough of Hopatcong have, all of them, and I appreciate that. Don't forget the marketplace starting this weekend. It's going to be better. The folks that are doing a better job than I did. They're very organized. They're doing great. So please come, please support it. That's important. I have proposed to Trenton a new treatment for harmful algae blooms. I have a product that's brand new. There's no chemicals in it. It's a mineral-based coagulant. It's different than Foslock because what I'm proposing has no cancerous materials in it. Foslock that they claim is so safe has lanthanum in it. That's a cancer producing substance that's recorded as such. But again, I'm proposing things to our new commissioner who seems to be receptive. I've sent the data, the technical data on this to the Assistant Director of Science and Technology and ask her for approval to use it in Crescent Cove to start. It's a game changer, and it can make our lake a better place without pouring any more algicides, herbicides, or any other junk in our lake. That's the original cause of these algae blooms. They have repaired the stormwater regulate basins at Crescent Cove. They took out all the junk. They replaced it with new media. That should take care of a lot of the phosphorus coming off the hills. So we're taking really important steps to start with Crescent Cove, which is important. And again, it was the worst cove. We're trying to make it the best. And I'm committed to doing that. So we're going to keep working on that, and I'll keep you posted on that. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's crucial to the lake. There are people that are starting to work to run their new shorelines on Hudson. It's challenging. We understand that. We're going to be very patient, and we're going to be very tolerant. It's not cheap. It sounds like it would be cheap, but it's not. Remember, these houses sit down in the hole, and they have to put this pipe through sometimes really rocky stuff and disturb a lot of their property. We're going to work with them on that. We understand that. And so we're committed to making sure that we get that job done too. So that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Right.
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank